Thank you for taking part in today's webinar on the Sam Houston Regional Library and Research Center. I'm very excited to introduce you to the center and everything that it has to offer. The Sam Houston Regional Library and Research Center is part of the Texas State Library and Archives Commission, or TSLAC. The center is located at 650 Farm to Market Road, 1011 in Liberty, Texas, and it's open Tuesday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to 4. The center is the only regional historical resource depository, or RHRD, that TSLAC owns. Most RHRDs are located at other institutions, such as colleges and universities. Many people are not aware of what an RHRD is, much less what the Sam Houston Regional Library and Research Center is. This is largely due to the center's somewhat remote location in Liberty, a small city with a population of only around 9,000 people. Liberty is located in the middle of Houston and Beaumont, about an hour from each. For a historian or genealogist, knowing what an RHRD is can be vital to your research. And for those of you researching Southeast Texas, knowing what the Sam Houston Regional Library and Research Center is can be even more important. That is why this presentation is designed to do three things. First, explain the Regional Historical Resource Depository System. Second, provide an overview of the Sam Houston Regional Library and Research Center. And third, describe some of the center's archival collections and how to access them. But before we get started, I want to share with you a little about the Texas State Library and Archives Commission, the state agency of which we're a part. The main TSLAC facility is located in downtown Austin by the Capitol building. You can access TSLAC's main collections at the Archives Reading Room there. On the screen, you can see an overview of TSLAC's mission and the services and programs our agency provides to Texans. Today's webinar is part of our mission to provide Texans access to needed information. You can also see the three service areas of TSLAC listed, with the Sam Houston Center being one of those. If you want to learn more about our agency, please visit the agency's website at www.tsl.texas.gov. Now, it's time for your introduction to the Sam Houston Regional Library and Research Center. I mentioned the center is part of TSLAC's RHRD system. So what is that exactly? In 1971, Article 5442B, known as the Regional Depository Law, was passed with the intent to save local government records. A statewide legislative committee survey had found local government records were being destroyed and irrevocably damaged throughout the state. But Texas was just too big and had too many counties for all the local government records to be brought to the state archives in Austin for preservation. As a result, the law authorized regional depositories to be established by the Texas Library and Historical Commission, TSLAC's earlier name. These depositories were to be established in partnership with colleges and universities for the purpose of preserving local records and keeping them close to their original homes. 23 RHRDs exist today throughout the state. Each RHRD collects, preserves, and makes available historical local government records from specific Texas counties. There are three words I want you to pay attention to in that description. The first is historical. It's not every local government record ever created that's going to be in an RHRD. It's those deemed to be of historic value. The second is local. These are the records of local government officials, not state government records. And thirdly, specific. Each RHRD serves a designated specific group of counties that are located near it. The RHRD will only collect local government records from those specific counties. If a county does not have a designated RHRD, then those records are located at the TSLAC headquarters in Austin. As originally planned in the legislation, RHRDs are typically located at colleges, universities, and libraries that can provide proper storage for the records and make them available to the public. These RHRDs sign an agreement to hold the records on behalf of TSLAC, which is the owner of the records. To summarize it as simply as possible, historical government records are transferred from local government officials to state government, specifically to TSLAC, and housed within TSLAC's RHRD system. You can learn more about the RHRD system at www.tsl.texas.gov/about-RHRD. So what type of records are you going to find in an RHRD? Which government records are considered historical and could be transferred to an RHRD by a local government official? Those are going to be deeds, vital records like birth, death, and marriage records, tax records, land records, court case files, probate papers, school records, voter registration records, and sometimes records that will surprise you, like some of the ones we will discuss later that have found a home here at the Sam Houston Center. You can find the contact information and some holdings information for each RHRD on the TSLAC website. You can get to the web pages with this information a few different ways. You can visit the About RHRD webpage address I gave on the preceding slide and click on links from that page that will take you to the information. You can even get to the information by first going to the Sam Houston Center's webpage at www.tsl.texas.gov/SHC and review the information on our website on local government records. But I'm going to show you the easiest way and take you directly to the web pages that you'll need to find the RHRD for the county you are researching and the microfilm holdings that that RHRD has. So first, let's find your RHRD for the county you're interested in. There is a list of all the RHRDs, which counties they serve, and the RHRD's contact information at www.tsl.gov/ARC/depositories.html. This web page tells you which RHRD you need to contact to request a particular county's records. Those records can be in the form of microfilm, which can be sent to you via interlibrary loan, meaning you can have the microfilm sent to a library near you that has a microfilm reader, or the records may be in their original paper format, which you could view by going and visiting the RHRD in person. You must contact the staff of each RHRD directly to learn more about the depository's paper holdings, but you can find a list of what microfilm each RHRD has online. The microfilm holdings within the RHRD system are organized by county and available at www.tsl.texas.gov/ARC/local/index. If you scroll down that web page, you will come to a list of county records housed at the main TSLAC facility in Austin. And just below that, a list of the county records at other depositories. These are the ones at the RHRDs. All you have to do is click on the county in which you're interested to see the microfilm holdings that would be found at that county's RHRD. If a local government record is no longer in the custody of the original local government office, it should be at the RHRD for that county. Government records are to remain with either the local government or be transferred to state government, to TSLAC. But sometimes things happen, and you may find local government records at a local library, museum, or historical society instead. If you cannot find something, don't forget to check those places too. Also, many local government records have been digitized and are available through Ancestry.com and FamilySearch.org, services that are available to use at the TSLAC facility in Austin and here at the Center in Liberty if you don't have your own personal account or subscription. But remember, the county's RHRD should be your first stop for finding a historical local government record that is no longer at the originating local office. If you want to learn more about locating county government records, I encourage you to view the recording of a previous webinar in this series on solely that subject. Previous webinars can be found at www.tsl.texas.gov/ARC/workshops. Now, we have already mentioned that the Sam Houston Center is one of TSLAC's RHRDs, and that it is the only one TSLAC owns, instead of it being a separate entity with which TSLAC has signed an agreement. This is the result of the generosity of various groups and citizens in the Southeast Texas area. Following the passage of the Regional Depository Law that I mentioned, Marion Price Daniel Sr., commonly known as Price Daniel, and a man who had held more elected and appointed positions in Texas than anyone else, informed State Librarian Dr. Dorman H. Winfrey that he and his wife Jean planned to leave lands and funds for historical preservation and educational purposes in Southeast Texas. As a result, an amendment was passed to the original law that made it possible for the commission to accept the property and then seek private funds to build a Southeast Texas RHRD. Price and Jean Daniel donated over 100 acres of their land in Liberty, Texas for construction of the Sam Houston Regional Library and Research Center. Private funds were raised for the building's construction, and the center opened in 1977 as the state's official regional historical resource depository for 10 counties in Southeast Texas: Chambers, Hardin, Jasper, Jefferson, Liberty, Newton, Orange, Polk, San Jacinto, and Tyler. A visit to the center is multifaceted. It is home to restored historic buildings, a museum, and a research library. In addition to the main building, 5 other buildings are on the property. The Gillard Duncan House, built in 1848 by a Creole immigrant family. The Norman House, built in Liberty around 1883 and occupied by a few different families. St. Stephen's Episcopal Church, which served Liberty for nearly a century after its construction in 1898. The Holday Zeta Rotary Building, built in 1927, which is possibly the only building ever constructed and owned by a Rotary Club. And the Jean and Price Daniel Home and Archives, built in the early 1980s and patterned after the Texas Governor's Mansion, which was originally intended to have wings, as the Daniel home does. These buildings are used for special events, museum exhibitions, and tours by appointment. Within the main building, a museum houses revolving special exhibits and the permanent exhibit, Atascocito, the History of Southeast Texas, which explores the life and development of the center's 10-county area from prehistoric times through the modern era. Among the items on display are Clovis points from 13,000 years ago, artifacts from the first Spanish outpost in the area, El Orcacusac, Sam Houston's private executive record from his second term as president of the Republic of Texas, and many examples of the center's local government records, such as log brand books, the area's first women voter registration receipts, and naturalization records from immigrants coming to the area to work in the rice industry. But our focus today is on the center's research library and collections. The center's collection is estimated at 12,000 cubic feet, which means if you put everything side by side, it would run for 55 football fields. The collection consists of the local government records that are the center's main focus as an RHRD, but also manuscript collections, family histories, maps, blueprints, fine art, photographs, artifacts, audiovisual materials, newspapers, books, and more. Records date from around 1826. To give you a few examples, the holdings include a number of family history papers, including correspondence, photographs, legal documents, and journals from Southeast Texas families. One of these collections, the Julia Duncan Welder Papers, has everything from Civil War muster rolls to records of early cattle drives. There is an extensive newspaper archive with newspapers from the counties we serve dating back to 1855. The Hardin Papers, with Mexican government records prior to the Texas Revolution, Price Daniels records as Attorney General, Governor, and U.S. Senator, and even an original 1823 letter from Andrew Jackson to Thomas Jefferson introducing then Congressman Sam Houston. So let's talk about the local government records the center houses as an RHRD. The center has many of the government records already discussed as often being found in RHRDs. Marriage records, probate records, deeds, tax records, court case files, election records. But we also have some lesser known records like prison registers, marks and brands, and even scout bounties. We can tell you who got caught providing moonshine, what brand your ancestor used to mark livestock, and a host of other interesting facts about your family history and the region's past. Like other RHRDs, the center has county records on both microfilm and in paper form. While there can be some duplication between the two formats, we only have one or the other for many records, so you need to check both formats. The list of microfilm available can be found on the same webpage as the microfilm for other counties that we already discussed. That was www.tsul.texas.gov/arc/local/index. One would simply click on the links for the 10 counties the center serves to see what holdings we have for each county. And then, as with the other RHRDs, you can request this microfilm be sent to a library near you that has a microfilm reader via interlibrary loan, or you could come view it on the microfilm readers we have here at the center. The list of paper records available at the center can be found at www.tsul.texas.gov/shc/county recs, RECS for records, /index.html. To see the paper records, you will need to visit the center in person. Appointments are not required to visit the center and conduct research, but we do encourage you to communicate with us first so we can have the records that will be most useful to you pulled and ready for your arrival. If you're searching for a record that you do not find on either of the online lists, microfilm or paper, and you have been unable to find it elsewhere, please call or email us because we may have the local government record, but it has not been added to one of these two lists yet. So, what about our non-government records, the family papers, business records, and similar collections that I mentioned? Some finding aids are available online for our manuscript collections, images, and other records. You can find those on our webpage, www.tsul.texas.gov/shc, under the Collections heading. When you click on that Collections link, or if you simply scroll down to the Collections section of the web page, it will bring you to a list of all of our online finding aids. This list is in alphabetical order. Alternatively, you can locate our finding aids by searching Texas Archival Resources Online, or TARO, at txarchives.org. This will allow you to use search terms to help locate exactly what you need. You can limit a TARO search to a particular repository. In our case, the Texas State Library and Archives Commission. By searching TSLAC's finding aids, you will get results for finding aids from both Austin and our facility in Liberty. If you only want to pull results for the Sam Houston Center, you will need to add those words or others from our repository name in your keyword search. So for example, you might search the finding aids for Price Daniel Sam Houston Center, and that will pull finding aids with the word Price Daniel in it that are from the Sam Houston Center only. We are working on getting more of our finding aids online, but it's important for you to realize the majority of our collection is not yet represented on our webpage or on Tarot. That is why we strongly encourage calling to speak to one of our reference librarians about what records we may have to assist with your research project. To truly get the full benefit of the center's holdings, you need to speak to a staff member or visit the center. One more place you can look for archival collections from the center is TSLAC's Texas Digital Archive, which houses digitized collections from the Sam Houston Center since we're a part of TSLAC. Go to www.tsl.texas.gov/Texas Digital Archive and click on the icon for Sam Houston Regional Library and Research Center, the one circled in red on your screen. This will take you to the icons for our government records, manuscript collections, and prints and photographs that have been digitized. You will be able to search and view the listed collections online. The center also has an extensive book collection that can be searched in TSLAC's online catalog. The catalog's available on TSLAC's homepage, www.tsl.texas.gov. It's in the upper right-hand corner that you can search, but you can also reach it directly by going to tsla.cirsi, that's SIRSI.net. Our book collection includes county histories, church histories, indexes, local periodicals, and many other publications. To search only the publications located in Liberty within TSLAC's catalog, you'll need to use the online catalog's advanced search feature, which allows you to choose a location. You'll want to filter the location to @TSLAC collection in Liberty, Texas, and then you'll only get results from the book collection here in Liberty at the Sam Houston Center. So now that you know all the wonderful resources at the Sam Houston Center, I'm sure you're going to want to contact us. The contact information for the Sam Houston Center is on the screen, along with that of the main TSLAC location in Austin. I hope you'll reach out to us to arrange a visit or to inquire about what records we may have that will assist with your research. The easiest ways to reach us are simply by calling 936-336-8821 or emailing us at samhoustoncenter@tsl.texas.gov. In summary, we've talked about how you can find local government records that are no longer at the county level in TSLAC's regional historical resource depositories. You've been introduced to TSLAC's very own RHRD, the Sam Houston Regional Library and Research Center, which is home to a variety of historical buildings, a museum, and a research library where you can access the center's historic records and artifacts. And we've covered the variety of research resources available at the center and how you can access them, whether it's online or by calling or visiting the center's staff. Thank you for spending time with me today, learning more about the Sam Houston Center, and I'll be happy to answer any questions any of you have.